It's a great feeling, obviously one that this team, our staff, our fans really needed to have a win against the team last year that got an outstanding quarterback, got outstanding players, and Super Bowl team. So hats off. Can't say enough about Cooper Rush. Can't say enough about how our offensive line executed, gave him enough time on throwing situations, and did a heck of a job in the run game, too. They got a good defensive front.
What can you say about the sense of urgency with the 4th and 2 that pays off with the touchdown early?
Well, I think I had a lump in my throat. I know that. And and he was going to be accountable if we didn't make it. I'm teasing. But I think that did inspire. I really do. I think that decision right there inspired us to get over the end zone. We were able to put those plays together and get scores out of them, which was a big difference from the week before.
We just heard an enormous cheer coming out of that group. What's the feeling in that locker room right now, and how important is this win in the big picture?
Well, I think that certainly everybody feels great for Mike. Mike stayed strong, stayed steady, never wavered in terms of second guessing, but it certainly inspired the players, so he was a great leader during this tough week. We all know that was rough sledding on not only the players but the coach and the coaching staff. And so, and again, it goes back about this game, and you can have the really it go against you, and then but stay true to your work. And here we are 7 days later and having one of the greatest feelings that I can remember in a long time, to come in here and beat a good Cincinnati team.
Your defense had 6 sacks today. What did you think about your defense and how they performed today?
Well, I thought that it gave you confidence all day long and allowed us to really be pretty deliberate, mix the run game with the passing game, made enough plays in the passing game to keep the run game out there and keep it balanced. The week before, we just didn't make third down on short yardage, relatively speaking, a lot of situations, and you just didn't have a chance to move the change. It worked for us this week against a real good team as well. So, again, big effort. Everybody, you really do know, you always know how you address adversity is from within, and this team addressed it from within. Everybody just got a little better and played better.
You mentioned the pressure on Mike heading into this week, heading after last week. You know the hot seat talk heading into this season. What can you say about your confidence in him after this game?
Well, I think knowing that our back was against the ropes, anybody knows how disappointing our first loss was last week. We could point to the reasons why, but that's not enough. But to come out here with our same home crowd and beat a really fine young quarterback and beat the team that was played in the Super Bowl here just a few months ago was a big tonic for the disappointment we had last week. And we all know how tough these games are, and we've got a tough one coming up. But the main thing is kudos to Cooper Rush. That shows me so much about him and the principle of he's just kept in, he's just hammered, he's kept a workmanlike basis. He's done that, he's gotten better, he knows this offense as well as anybody breathing, and he stepped out there and did some great execution today. But make no mistake about it, he had a lot of help with our blocking and with our basically supporting cast. Can't say enough. Really would like to make my comment about how inspirational and how the great plays that C.D. Lamb made today. And he was playing inspired. Not that he hasn't, not that he doesn't, but C.D. Lamb was a difference out there today, and gave us all a look of what he's capable of doing. I'm proud of him.
Jerry, what kind of win like
you were
this?
expecting with Noah Brown to, at some point, show what he did today?
Well, I like those, quote, no-name receivers to step up and be the difference. And Noah Brown is, of course, he's not a no-name at Oklahoma. And because he did show Oklahoma how to catch a ball a lot of times. As a matter of fact, it was the principal reason I drafted him. Noah Brown was a guy that had that. So that reminded me of what we see in him. Give him a chance. Houston got out there and got some more snaps under his belt. So these young guys coming, and hello Gallup, we'll be having him. He's on the way.
Jerry, what can a
week.
win like this do in terms of the decision-making going forward as it relates to Dak? How can that impact, now that you've got a win under your belt without him? Does that give you some leeway, does that change the math a little bit in terms of whether or not you try and rush him back?
No, we weren't going to rush Dak back. The nature of Dak's repair allows him to play when he can grip the ball. And that's not rushing him back. If he can't grip the ball, he'd be the first to tell you he doesn't want to play. But if he can grip that ball, so this game has no bearing on that at all. All it does is confirm that we've got a couple of good quarterbacks backing him up.
Jerry, did you mind go to the San Francisco game at all when the clock was running down?
What?
Did you mind go to the San Francisco game when the clock was running down at the end?
In what respect?
The final seconds coming off the clock, you didn't get spiked for 3 seconds. I don't know if that would have got in your mind after.
Yeah, I blocked that out
game.
so far back. I take those negatives and I don't ever think about them again.
Looked like Cooper Rush.
What year was that? No, I'm
like-
teasing. I'm teasing.
About 7 months
I'm
ago.
teasing you. No, it did not. My mind was on this game. I'll tell you, we had so much that we could benefit from this win, especially for our fans, for our expectations, where we are at this juncture in the season. I don't know that I want to even try to compare the situation in a playoff game with that game right there. That was for a lot of marbles out there this afternoon.
Looked like Cooper Rush and Noah Brown had some really good chemistry out on the field. Can you talk for a moment about their development, what they worked on during the week? Looked like Cooper was targeting Noah quite a bit.
They've been playing together a long time, and they've thrown a lot of balls. And so it's not a surprise that they had a good day out there. But we've got a lot of confidence in Cooper Rush. And we've got a lot of confidence, frankly, in our backup quarterback situation. And I must tell you, though, that a performance like this with Cooper Rush gives me a little more confidence that we're making, at least we're somewhere in the universe in terms of how we were doing our quarterback and backing it up. This is he can win games and win some against some good teams.
Steve has said there's a possibility that can come back maybe even 3 minutes. What are you guys looking at?
Well, I've gone out on the limb for the man upstairs enough, okay? And you know I'm trying to be trite, but he really is the only one. When he has strength, which I have no idea when that'll be, but it will be not an issue of being concerned about re-injuring the thumb. It will be an issue of his ability to grip the ball. And you know Dak, and he's beat every timeline I've ever seen him even look at. So he's got a good chance to do it, but there's no question that we didn't put him on I want to be real clear about that. We did not put him on so that he could be working during these weeks. He could be out there, if throwing, but certainly involved in everything else. Couldn't have done that had we not put him there. And I think that I certainly would look to hope that he just might be available. But I don't mind telling you, this performance out here today by Rush sure takes a lot of the angst out of him.
Can Micah get 34 sacks?
What?
Can Micah get 34 sacks in the season?
Well, if Maris got 61 home runs, that's old stuff right there. But no, I don't know about that. But I'm not sure where we got 34. But
He's on pace.
he's on pace for 34.
Two in the
Okay,
first two.
okay.
Each in the first two.
Well, he's that was a phenomenal game that he had out there today, and there's no question he adjusted the game by being in that game. But I thought Lawrence had a heck of an impact on that game out there. And our 56, Williams. I thought Williams showed up. So I'm really pleased with the pressure and the problems we're giving offensive lines with our pass rush. And I wanted to see that because y'all reminded me we let a pretty good one out of here. So I just want you to know we got some guys out there that can put some pressure on.